Morning all, it's 10 to 7 on Monday the 1st of November. I need to start doing some more videos to explain what's going on in these markets because it's quite tricky. This is WTI Crude, so this is the weekly chart on the right hand side, obviously in a very strong bear trend. Every time we have a dip, the buyers come in. We have a minor, well, I'd call that a neutral candle on the weekly chart, this doji here, indicating that there's more of a balance between buyers and sellers. It's not a sell signal in my opinion. Despite the overbought conditions, it doesn't mean the trend is about to reverse, I don't think. When we look at the daily chart, we had something similar at the beginning of last week, some follow through to the downside, but last week's low was the same as the previous week's low, and we've had a bounce back. So what concerns me now is that this could be a head and shoulders pattern, and that would be more negative, but we've got to wait for it to form. Let's have a look. I think probably blow it up on the hourly chart. There you go. Then it looks really apparent. So you've got your neckline here. There you go. This could be a rather large left shoulder. This could be the head, and this could be the right shoulder. I'm not sure what's going on here now. We're just sort of trading sideways, but as you can see, we have got something of a right shoulder forming as it stands at the moment. I'm just going to put this little trend line on here, see how it holds. We're jumping the gun here. We've got to wait for the pattern to form, and that is not confirmed until we break below the neckline, which is currently around 80.40. So watch for the break below 80.40. That should signal a further move to the downside. Projected target would be from the peak of the head, which is 85.40, down to the low of the right shoulder, which is, well, near enough 80.40. So we're talking about a 5-point drop from sort of 80.50. In theory, that could be the target. So we're looking at sort of 75.50 as the potential downside target. Let's have a look at that on the 4-hour chart, see where that takes us. That would take us, well, we could certainly reach a 38.2% fib, which is at 76.40. So that would be a reasonable downside target if we were to break that neckline at 83, sort of 80.40, 80.30. So a decent 4 or 5 point move to the downside looks like it would be on the cards. So basically this week is a case of waiting patiently, I think, to see what develops, because right now I don't know what to do with this pattern. As you can see, moving averages on the 1-hour chart are flattening out, indicating that we're just in the sideways trend. Even the first Fibonacci level hasn't held at all. That's not being respected really. So at the moment I'm just waiting for something to develop, but hopefully when it does, it'll throw out a really nice opportunity for us to trade. Either the head and shoulders pattern will work, or it'll fail, and we'll have a move to the upside that we can jump onto. Gold has now become a truly horrible market to trade. We've been sideways for far too long. Let's just show you the weekly chart. So the weekly chart, you can see we're in an enormous sideways pattern. Really, I could call this a huge triangle pattern, which goes all the way back to, let's have a look, September of last year. So that is a sort of 14-month sideways trend. Now, the longer markets trade sideways, the harder and harder it is to identify reliable trading levels, because the same prices just get traded over and over and over again, and it becomes a situation where every price seems to be a level, a support or resistance level, and of course that just gets stupid. So when we look to the daily, have you noticed how even look at the even on the weekly chart, which is such a long-term chart, if I can just get it back up, there we go. The moving averages are starting to flatten out now after over a year of sideways action. Even the slow stochastic down here at the bottom right hand of the chart is flattening out. So it really is indicating that there is just no, well, it's just showing there is no indication of where the market will move in, whether the market will move in either direction, up or down, but will just continue sideways. Looking at the daily chart really doesn't give us much help either. We've got a range low around sort of 1690, 1680 level. The moving averages are flattening out here on the daily chart as well. We're up sort of one day, down the next. There's no real particular trend. In October we had a massive up move. Everything looked really positive, and then of course we collapsed when we hit some moving averages, which when we couldn't break through 1800. Then we broke through 1800. Everything looked good, and we just collapsed back down. So we don't seem to be able to go for more than 2 days in one direction currently anyway over the last week. Very confusing. When we look at the short-term charts, well, the hourly chart's not going to tell us anything, is it? It's going to have just sideways moving averages. 4-hour chart would be something I would normally depend on for some clue. Well, there's a loose argument for a bull trend, I suppose. I can put maybe a trend line on here to argue that we have something of a bull trend. So if I had to have a position on, I guess I'd rather be long than short. But 1778 should have been a really good support level, and we broke that. Went down to 1771. Okay, we're up above it again today. But that 4-hour, that should be a decent support level, but it's just not playing out. So I'm afraid with gold, it really is a case of wait and see which way do we break. And until then, good luck with your scalping. This is a 4-hour chart for silver, which is a little bit more positive. I'm guessing rather that this is maybe a bull flag. This downward sloping triangle may be a bull flag, seeing as we are in a bull trend. This looks like a good support level down here around sort of 2360, 2350. We've not quite got there yet. We would need a break above 2400 to push higher and confirm that we've broken out of that short-term consolidation triangle pattern. What can I see on the short-term charts? Well, nothing really on the hourly chart, just going sideways. Daily chart, well, longer term we're in a bear trend, but we are trying to move up in the short term, certainly through October. So for now, I'm going to stick with the bulls and hope they win out, because that's the short term trend for me until we break some support levels, basically until we break 2350. Weekly charts, just confusion, really no trend pattern or anything here, and really very much sideways for silver. So yeah, difficult times to trade these particular commodity markets, which it really is a wait and see. Sometimes in every business, whether it's trading or anything else, you often just have to sit and wait for something to change and a business opportunity to come up. And that, unfortunately, is exactly the situation we are in right now.